We'll proceed in pseudo calculus problems. Okay, very, very interesting discussion we are pursuing in pseudo calculus problem. Pseudo calculus problem. Anyway, what we are pursuing discussion in this arena is how to calculate parameter of a circle by dividing the parameter into many sections. Okay, if I divide a parameter into many sections, and if I add all the sections, then I'll get the parameter of a circle. Anyway, so what we have seen here, okay, so this is a circle, and circle, this is x-axis in the circle, and this is y-axis in the circle. Okay, now this is x-axis and y-axis in the circle, and we are computing the kind of circumference of the circle. Okay, idea can be many, but here the concept is that we divide the circle into small sections. This big section, this big section, this big section, this big section. So I divide circumference into n parts. What is your first part? This is the first part of the division. So this is the number one part from here to here. This is the first part. Second part is from here to here. This is second part. First part, and then first part, this line to this line is the second part. Third part, fourth part, n part. I divide the circumference into n part. If I divide circumference into n part, then I have to add all the parts. Consider this is the ith part. If this is x-axis, and then this is the ith part, any ith part, then what is the circumference of this ith part, or arc of length of this ith part? Now I have to add all the part. What is the ith part arc length? Anyone would jump that r, consider this angle is delta theta I. Delta theta I. This angle is delta theta I. If this angle is delta theta I, then this is the arc, and arc length is r into delta theta I. R into delta theta I is the arc length. Okay, in that fashion, what would be the full circumference? R delta theta 1, that is the first section, r delta theta 2, like that. If r is independent, this is considered as r is independent of theta. Means if this is the r, and I proceed this r delta theta I, this r and this are same, then this arc is r theta I. In that fashion, otherwise if r is dependent upon theta, then r will be here. Okay, here radius is like this, and when radius is proceeding into delta theta I, radius starts changing. When we proceeded delta theta I, this is the radius at the first instance, and this is the radius at second instance. Now this r cannot be r delta theta I. Means we cannot use this fundamental to calculate the total circumference of a circle when radius is function over theta, like r equal to cos theta, r equal to theta. Okay, there can be many scenarios. R equal to cos theta, it also makes a circle, but in that fashion r is dependent upon theta. So r varies with the theta. I cannot take a arc length is r delta theta for ith section as r delta theta, and subscript is I. Okay, so r into delta theta I. I cannot write it as arc length because radius here is different, radius here is different. This is delta I. What else we can do? What else we can do is now calculate. Now let's calculate. Let's see. This is a circle, and this is the radius, and this is the radius. Radius got changed. Radius become different when I proceeded the angle. Still, what we see that is change, angle change. Consider up till here there was an angle. This is x-axis. This is y-axis. Up till here the angle was theta. Then from here to here, from here to here, we progress delta theta. Okay, in that fashion, we progress. The theta angle is changing. Radius is also changing because radius is function over theta, whatever it is. Now, if I see from the, consider, can you draw a circle where radius is function over theta? Anyone would ask. Okay, can you show me a circle that is radius is function over theta? If this is x-axis and y-axis, if this is x-axis and y-axis, this is origin. This is x-axis, this is y-axis, this is origin. If this is origin, then this is the circle. That circle equation is r equal to cos theta, where the left end of the circle is touching the origin, and this is centered at point 1 by 2 comma 0. This circle r equal to cos theta. How it is? Because this, if I say this is x-axis and this is origin, then when angle, this is radius, and radius will proceed from angle theta. Radius is proceeding and angle is growing. When angle is theta is 0, radius is 1. When the way angle is growing, radius is decreasing. When angle is 90 degree, radius is completely 0. When angle is more than 90 degree, radius is negative. So we will take other side. If radius is negative, to make radius positive, we will proceed in 180 degree of the radius. If this is the radius and it is negative, then positive radius will be exactly opposite to it. In that fashion, if I am growing the radius from angle 0, when angle is 90 degree, radius has come to 0. It will come like this. When angle is growing 90 degree, radius will start becoming more from 0, but it will go in negative direction. So this will be the radius in this direction. So it will make a circle like this. So this is the circle, that is r equal to cos theta, where this point is origin. Okay, this circle is centered at point 1 by 2 comma 0, and it has a radius of 1 by 2. Okay, so this is the circle, that is r equal to cos theta. That is the circle. What is area of the circle? That is pi r square. Pi into r is 1 by 2 whole square. What is perimeter of the circle? Is 2 pi r. 2 into r is 1 by 2 pi. 2 r pi means pi. Pi is the circumference. Anyway, so we have found that there is possibility that radius will change with the angle. Still, it will make a circle. In that fashion, if I talk about the ith section, now if this is the circle and we make many sections of the circumference, let's talk about the ith section. This ith section arc is like this. It will converge. Now it will converge at origin here. This is the origin we have drawn now. So it will converge here. Okay, this is the x-axis and y-axis. If I take r at any point, see the r is varying. Now this r, if I see here, when angle is 0, r is full, that is diameter of the circle. Now as r is growing, r is reducing, it is coming to 0. At any moment, if I say what is the r, then intersection on x-axis, if I draw a line, at any moment I take any point here, and if I draw a vertical line and draw a horizontal line, this section will be y and this section will be x. Makes sense? Where x equal to r cos theta. R is variable at any moment at any angle theta. Whatever the r is, r cos theta is x, intersection on x-axis. R sin theta is y at that point. So this is the relationship between x and y and r and theta. X equal to r cos theta, x equal to r sin theta. When theta is 90 degree, then x is 0 because r cos theta is 0. Whereas y is r sin theta, means y will be maximum because sin theta is maximum, but r itself is 0. So x and y both are 0 in this fashion, where r equal to cos theta when theta is 90 degree. So radius is here complete when theta angle is 0, and when angle is growing, radius is moving like this, and when angle is 90 degree, radius comes to 0. Any moment if I see r cos theta is x-axis, r sin theta is y-axis. Now if I talk about the ith section, this is one line. then it moves like this, then this is the arc of the ith section. If this is the arc of the ith section, then we move, if I take any this point as x and this point as y and I move like this, then this is delta x, I move along x axis, and this is delta y, I move along y axis. Makes sense? If I say this point is, if I say this point is x comma y, and then I move radius like this is the radius. Okay, not this is the radius. This is the radius. Radius from here I move like this. Now I move radius from x comma y from this point to new point called x2 comma y2. If this is x comma y, this is x2 comma y2. This part is delta x. The x change delta and y change delta y. Now we have a right angle triangle here. This is delta x, this is delta y. Delta x is touching point called x2 and x. Delta y is touching point called y and y2. Then this arc will behave like as a hypotenuse of the triangle. The triangle will be like this. This is delta x, it moves where this point is x and this point is x2. It moves delta y like this, where this point is y and this point is y2. This is the arc of the circle. Okay, if this angle, what the radius, the way it is moving from x comma y to x2 comma y2, this angle is delta theta I, because ith section delta theta I am talking. This angle is delta theta I. If this angle is delta theta I, this is theta degree from the x-axis. Then it moves delta theta I, because this section of arc section is ith section. First section, second section, third section, ith section. Now it moves in that fashion. What is the arc length? Now arc length cannot be r delta theta I, the way we say in generally in circle. Arc length is radius into the angle it moves, delta theta I, because radius is changing, radius is not constant. So arc length, what is arc length? Okay, arc length, it symbolizes the kind of more or less like a hypotenuse of a triangle, where it moved, this point is x comma y, and it moved like an arc, and this point is x2 comma y2. It moved delta x along x axis, it moved delta y along y axis. Now in this movement, this arc length, if I say this angle, this, from this I draw a line to the origin, that is radius. From this I draw a line to the origin, this is origin here. Okay, if that is the fashion, this is radius 1 and this is radius 2. Radius is changing, I move the angle. But this angle, what radius we are talking, this is the first radius, this is the second radius. The angle between it is delta theta I. If delta theta is I is very, very small, then this arc will behave like a straight line. In that fashion, this straight line is delta x square plus delta y square, or rather I would say delta x I whole square plus delta y I whole square. I is the ith section. That is the arc. Now we know what is the arc for the ith section. Now I can write the complete arc, complete circumference of the circle as summation of I equal to 1 to n, because I did many cuttings on the circumference. I talked about the ith section one. Now it is summation sign, that is like this is the sigma sign, I believe. Summation sign I equal to 1, summation I equal to 1 to n. Summation is I equal to 1 to n. And now here square root of delta xi whole square plus delta y whole square. This is the net arc length. But anyway, the idea here is nothing should be repeated. We are repeating something. If this is x-axis and we are proceeding like this arc, then everywhere we have delta x, and delta x is non-overlapping. This delta x belongs to section 1, 2, because section is proceeding like this. Delta x we will get along x-axis. Now if we get delta x along x-axis, all delta x are non-overlapping to each other. But if we come back like this, then delta x will start overlapping to each other. We will get the parameter. We have demonstrated this earlier. We will calculate the parameter of the first half only. above the x-axis, not below the axis. We will double it. So we are cutting it into n part from for the top circle only, not the bottom circle. We are discarding this. We are discarding now. So in that section, in that way, we have I equal to 1 to n, where n is division of this section on the top part only, above x-axis. I equal to 1 to n square root delta xi whole square plus delta yi whole square. This is a very big thing. From here, we can branch out in many sections. Anyway, now we have delta x, summation of delta x on x-axis, and they are non-overlapping to each other. Summation of delta y, they are non-overlapping to each other. In that fashion, we can write it into integral calculus. This is what we are saying. Repeated addition can also be converted into integral calculus if repeated addition is for delta x or delta y or delta theta, whatever it is, and they are non-overlapping, means delta x1 plus delta x2 plus delta x3 plus delta xn will be, if it is the diameter of the circle. If we are moving delta x like this and delta x is diameter of the circle, I'm sorry, if I add all the delta x, then it is the completely diameter of the circle, means they are non-overlapping to each other. Okay, means delta x1 and delta x2, they are completely separate. In that fashion, if I add all this, if they were overlapping to each other, and then we have made a different section, probably they will not sum up to the diameter. They will be less than that. But here, since they are non-overlapping, they will sum it to diameter. Now, in this fashion, this is a pure indication that we can convert delta xi summation of delta xi into dx of integration, and delta y subscript as I, delta y bottom right small ith section can be converted into dy. Now we have circumference as integration of integration side, square root dx whole square plus dy whole square. Square root, integration sign, square root dx whole square plus dy whole square. Okay, now if I reconvert back into summation, then it is summation sign I equal to 1 to n square root delta xi whole square plus delta y whole square, ith section, and then add all the section, or integration sign is square root dx whole square plus dy whole square. Okay, it resulted into many analogies, but anyway, we were trying to calculate straightforward. Let's calculate straightforward. What is straightforward? Take out dx from the square root. Now integration side, square root dx whole square plus dy whole square. That's it. Dx, if I take out, it becomes square root 1 plus dy by dx whole square bracket into dx. If I take out dx, square root 1 plus dy by dx whole square bracket outside dx integration side. What is dy by dx? Dy by dx is same as dy by d theta into d theta by dx. I can write like simple mathematics. Y equal to y into x by x. Dy by dx equal to dy by d theta into d theta by dx. What is dy by d theta? Y equal to r sine theta. In that fashion, r is function over theta. Dy by d theta will come as a differentiation of product rule. R differentiation of sine theta plus sine theta differentiation of r. R equal to cos theta. It becomes r differentiation of sine theta. R that is cos theta into cos theta plus sine theta dr by d theta, that will be minus sine theta. Cos square theta minus sine square theta is dy by d theta divided by dx. What is dx? Dx is x is r cos theta. Dx is r d cos theta by d theta. r d cos theta by d theta plus cos theta dr by d theta. Now it becomes cos theta into minus sin theta plus plus cos theta again minus sin theta minus 2 cos theta sin theta. Now if I settle it down, 1 plus dy by dx become 1 plus dy by d theta into d theta by dx, that is 1 by dx by d theta. dy by dx is dy by d theta into 1 by dx by d theta whole square root dx. Now we have dy by d theta is cos square theta minus sin square theta. Dx by d theta is minus 2 sin theta cos theta. If someone settle it down, making it square and adding it with plus 1, the denominator part I can take it out from the square root. It will still be minus 2 cos theta sin theta. Numerator part will be settled at square root of 4 cos square theta sin square theta plus cos square theta plus sin square theta whole square, that will be cos to the power 4 theta plus sin to the power 4 theta minus 2 cos square theta sin square theta square root. So net it will become integration of square root 4 cos square theta plus 4 cos square theta sin square theta plus cos to the power 4 theta plus sin to the power 4 theta minus 2 cos square theta sin square theta. Okay, divided by, there is no square root now, minus 2 cos theta sin theta. Dx is outside, that is again minus cos theta sin theta d theta. This will go away, only d theta will remain there. Okay, what is the square root of 4 cos square theta sin square theta plus sin square theta plus cos square theta? I'm sorry, the square root of 4 cos square theta sin square theta plus cos to the power 4 theta plus sin to the power 4 theta minus 2 cos square theta sin square theta. If we settle down, then it becomes 2 cos square theta sin square theta plus sin to the power 4 theta plus cos to the power 4 theta. That will become cos square theta plus sin square theta whole square root. It will become 1 only. At the end, it will become d theta. Just d theta. Theta, where theta is going where to where. Now we have a circle. It looks like primary at the beginning. It looks like theta is going from 0. If I am making like this, then theta is going 0 to pi, but that is not true. In this circle where r equal to cos theta, theta is going from 0 to 90 degree only if I take the top half of the x-axis. So theta will be 0 to pi by 2, d theta, pi by 2. Pi by 2 is the circumference of the circle of the upper part into 2 pi. Pi is the circumference of the circle. Certainly pi, we calculated earlier also. A circle with radius 1 by 2, the circumference is pi 1. We calculated it. What is next? What is next? Next is, now let's go back. What is the formula that we calculate? We have talked about it. What is the formula that we calculated for the kind of circumference? That is integration sign square root of dx whole square plus dy whole square. This is as good as integration sign magnitude of a vector, that is dxi plus dyj. I just say someone that I am giving you a vector, and equation of the vector is dxi plus dy, d small dx. I is I vector of the x-axis, not ith section. dxi plus dyj. This is the vector form. dxi and plus dyj. If this is the vector form, then what is its magnitude? Dx whole square plus dy whole square root. That is the magnitude of this vector. This is exactly what we are talking about. Integration sign square root of dx whole square plus dy whole square. That is the circumference. That is magnitude of a vector. That is dxi plus dyj. I can write now integration sign magnitude. 2 bar will talk about the magnitude or absolute value. Integration sign and absolute value. Inside that we have a vector called dxi plus dyj. If this vector, if I calculate the magnitude, that is the net length of the circumference. Okay, dxi plus dyj can be rewritten as d small d, that is called derivative. Derivative of another vector. What is another vector? In braces I can write xi plus yj, d, and in bracket xi plus yj, that will become dxi plus dyj, because dx is derivative. Small section we have taken delta x, that is derivative. So net circumference is integration and absolute or d magnitude of d, and then in bracket xi plus yj, small d, and in bracket xi plus yj, and then full magnitude. This is xi plus yj. If I talk, then what our circle is? This is our circle, where this is origin, this point is origin, this is the circle, and that circle is r equal to cos theta. The circle equation is it looks very funny. Circle equation generally we specify in x and y if it is Cartesian coordinate system. This is Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, if this is the origin of the circle equation is r equal to cos theta. Or if I just write x square plus y square, then x square become r square cos square theta plus y square means r square sin square theta, where r is cos theta. If someone settle it down, it will net become cos square theta only, means x square plus y square equal to x. Cos square theta is x equal to r cos theta. R itself is cos theta. X equal to cos square theta. Means if I say x square plus y square, that will become equal to cos square theta, that is x. X square plus y square equal to x. X square minus x plus y square equal to 0. That will settle down as x minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square equal to 1 by 2 whole square. X minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square equal to 1 by 2 whole square. That is nothing but an equation of a shifted circle. This is a circle that is centered at the origin with radius 1 by 2. Now I shift it 1 by 2 on this side. This is an equation of a circle that has center as 1 by 2 comma 0 and radius as 1 by 2. The new circle is x minus 1 by 2 whole square plus y square equal to 1 by 2 whole square. Circumference is pi only. Anyway, we are saying that the circumference of the circle is integration sign and then magnitude absolute value of d of p, where p is the position vector. What is position vector? If this is origin, if this is x-axis and y-axis, if this is x-axis and this is y-axis, I take any point p here, that is x comma y, and if I draw a straight line from the origin, this vector is called position vector of x comma y, and that is xi plus yj. Means integration sign and then absolute value of d of position vector, that is xi plus yj. Means if I calculate derivative of this vector and then calculate the magnitude of it and then integrate it, I'll get the circumference. Makes sense? As per the formula, derivative of any position vector is exactly perfect is if this is the position vector of any line, I'm not talking about circle, any line. If I have a position vector that is for any line, any curved line or straight line, whatever it is, if I calculate derivative of this position vector, it will result into another vector that will be at this point x comma y, that will be tangent at this point. Means derivative of d of p is dxi plus dyj. Means this is dxi plus dyj. This point is x comma y. This point is x comma y, and then this is xi plus yj. Derivative of this is dxi plus dyj. That will be tangent at this point. This tangent means this dxi plus dyj is a vector that represents the line along the line, whereas position vector represents a line that connects origin and that point x comma y. Anyway, now we have the circumference of a circle is integration absolute value d of p. P is position vector. It can be xi plus yj, where x is x and y is the square root of a square minus x square, because that is the equation of circle. Or it can be in the x equal to r cos theta and y equal to r sin theta. But again, it will be d derivative of position vector. Position vector can be written in any form. If it can be written in any form, then it can be written into pure polar coordinate system. What is pure polar coordinate system? Okay, we promise that we will prove this circumference in the pure polar coordinate system. What is pure polar coordinate system? That is under question mark. If I talk about pure polar coordinate system, if this is origin and this is radius, then pure polar coordinate system, this point, pure polar coordinate system, what is the position vector? Position vector is this origin is 0, 0 and this point is x, y. A vector connecting 0, 0 and x, y is the position vector, that is xi plus yj, x minus 0, y minus 0, xi plus yj. In polar coordinate system, what is coordinate of this? If I say this is 0 origin, what is coordinate of this? Okay, people would say x, y means r cos theta, y sin theta. But that is polar cum Cartesian coordinate system, because x, the net vector will be, if I say this point is x, y, then I can say this point is r cos theta, r sin theta, because x equal to r cos theta, y equal to r sin theta. This is not a pure polar coordinate system. If I say, okay, I understood your point is r cos theta, r sin theta, then what is the position vector? That is r cos theta I plus r sin theta j. Again, I and j are coming. This is Cartesian coordinate system. This is a hybrid model called r cos theta I plus r sin theta j. What is pure polar coordinate system? In r vector and theta vector. If I say pure polar coordinate system, then this is radius. This is r vector. So this point will be r. Because like if I say talk in Cartesian coordinate system, if I say x, then along x-axis interception is x. If I say this point is y, then along y-axis interception is y. If I talk in polar, this is not available in any of the book. Anyone can try. Okay. Now, if I talk in pure polar coordinate system, then coordinate of polar coordinate system is r and theta. So this is the radius. Then one will be r, comma theta. Anyone would say x, y will be transformed into r, theta. False. R is distance and theta is angle. It cannot be r, theta. It has to be distance. R is distance, true. But theta is angle. How I can transform theta into distance? Okay, if I set theta into distance as per polar coordinate system, I'm not talking about pure this for this circle. Any polar coordinate system, if I talk about theta, then distance representation of theta in any polar coordinate system, that is the arc theta is drawing. Now let's take polar coordinate system. If it is polar coordinate system, then this is the origin, that is at center. And typically this is the r. R is moving in theta angle. I'm not saying R is independent, but this is the R. Now if I take any position of the R and move angle theta, the arc it is drawing is r theta. If it has moved theta angle, then it is r theta is the arc. Means for theta, I'm not talking about r specifically. For theta angle, if theta angle is growing, one is radius will grow. Radius is 0 and radius is growing. One is angle theta, because we are taking pure polar coordinate system. Pure polar coordinate system, there are two variables. One is radius, one is theta. Radius can grow from 0 and it will grow in this direction if it is a circle. But theta will grow like this. If theta grows like this in angle, it will make arc if it is growing. That arc length is represent the theta if I talk about the theta. So in that fashion, if I take the pure polar coordinate system, then if I talk this point x, y, that will be r, r theta. Because r theta is the arc that represents the theta. So if I take polar coordinate system, this point is r, r theta. Okay, then what is your vector? That is r unit vector plus r theta unit vector. That is pure polar coordinate system. Okay, where r is function over theta, possible. But this is the exact nature of polar coordinate system, independent of where I am taking origin and which is where. This is pure polar coordinate system. Any point in polar coordinate system, I can say this point is r, r theta. Like in Cartesian coordinate system, without thinking where is the origin, I can say any point at x, y. Similarly, in polar coordinate system, I can say any point as r comma r theta. Okay, then what is the vector? Then r unit vector plus r theta unit vector. One is in r direction, one is in theta direction. So theta will be, I believe it will be along the angular tangent direction. Okay, now what is the circumference? Integration and absolute of d of p, that is derivative of p. P is r unit vector plus r theta unit vector. D of p I can rewrite as d of p by d theta into d theta. Y I can write as y into x by x. Similarly, d of p I can write as d of p by d theta into d theta. What is dp by d theta into d theta? D theta I can keep outside of the absolute value. What is dp by d theta? P is, what is dp by d theta? P is r unit vector plus r theta unit vector. dp by d theta. dr by d theta r unit vector plus r d theta by d theta unit vector. Okay, means I have taken r as constant when we draw the arc. Mind it, in polar coordinate system, if I say point is r comma r theta, in first r is variable, in second r is constant, then only it will make like this. I believe it is all right, it is understandable. If I talk about the people who have a doubt here, that how you can take the arc as r theta when r is variable. When I take r theta as the arc, then r is constant there. Then only the arc will be r theta. Okay, in that fashion we have dp by d theta as dr by d theta r unit vector plus r d theta by d theta. Otherwise, it will become r d theta by d theta plus theta dr by d theta. That will be completely different thing. R is constant there. R d theta by d theta. That will become r theta unit vector. Now dp by d theta become dr by d theta r unit vector plus r theta unit vector. Magnitude of this will become dr by d theta whole square plus r whole square root. This is not available in any of the book. Anyone can try. What is the magnitude of this? That is square root of dr by d theta whole square plus r whole square. Okay, someone can take like this and d theta. Someone can try now. What is dr by d theta? R is cos theta. Dr by d theta is minus sine theta square, sine square theta. What is r square? R is cos theta. R square cos square theta, sine square theta plus cos square theta, square root is 1 only. It will come as d theta again. D theta integration now for the theta is going 0 to pi, not 2 pi, 0 to pi. It becomes pi. Okay, circumference of the circle, that is r equal to cos theta with the pure polar coordinate system, is again pi only. Mind blowing, amazing, head hitting in the wall. Okay, this proof is not available in any of the book. Where if r is function over theta, still we can calculate the circumference of the circle by cutting the circumference into many parts. Someone can try other thing. R equal to sine theta. That also forms a circle, I believe. R equal to 1 plus b cos theta. R equal to 1 plus b cos theta. B is any constant. Okay, anyone can take 1 plus cos theta, 1 plus 2 cos theta, 1 plus 3 cos theta, 1 plus 1 by 2 cos theta. The general form is R equal to 1 plus b cos theta. It will not draw a circle. It will draw some different shape, heart shape or this shape, that shape. Still people can try finding the circumference of another shape also. R equal to cos theta, R equal to sine theta will make circle. But R equal to 1 plus b cos theta, where b is some constant that someone can change, making less than 1 or more than 1, it will form different kind of shape that will not be a circle. Or r equal to theta, just r equal to theta. Still people can find the circumference from one angle to another angle. People can try in pure polar coordinate system, and then hybrid coordinate system, then Cartesian coordinate system, anywhere. Okay, Please do not mind supporting us. +91 is the India country code. 9483160610 is the telephone number. +91 is the India country code. 9483160610